Hello everybody, it is Obscenity here coming at you with another YouTube video. As this video starts, I just wanted to address a couple of things. First, I wanted to apologize for how late this video is. I know that I was slotted to release this video Monday, Tuesday at the latest, and yet here we are Thursday, and the video is probably not even coming out until Friday because of course I'm taking it right now. I still need to make sure it's okay and then upload it. Um, that's been due to primarily some issues with with the editor. I've been using OpenShot to edit my videos, and I thought it was working fine. However, for some reason, as I started working on this project, which is, I will admit, the biggest project I've given it to date, I was getting issues with the audio desyncing. And I mean, like, very, very badly. I mean, like, 3, 4, 5 seconds off. And I just couldn't accept that. That was just unacceptable, quality for the upload. So I went back. I tried a bunch of things. I looked at I looked it up. And I just couldn't find an answer. So if any of you guys have a suggestion for that, please do let me know. Beyond that, on the last video, I received a couple of suggestions. One of which included, like, make your face a little bit smaller, which I can understand. I mean, I know I'm not a super attractive guy, right? But here we are, and I'm now, pleasantly smaller up in the corner, and we've got some of my very own gameplay from the other day slotted in, which leads me to the last thing I have. In addition to, of course, feedback is appreciated on the new layout, but I just wanted to say as well that I am sorry for the quality of the video of the gameplay. It looks a little bit shoddy to me. It might only be 720p. That's because I'm ripping it off of a Twitch stream archive. I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/obscenity. And that's where most of my gameplay comes from. But I don't have a capture card right now. Otherwise, I would be, capturing it as I'm streaming it, so that I could actually make sure that when I want to clip gameplay, I can clip it in the full 1080p HD that I prefer uploading to the channel. So again, if there are any issues with that, I apologize. Please just know that I'm trying my best and that I'm working to, find the money to get everything together to sort of make these couple of upgrades that we need to really complete the system. Although, that being said, because as I mentioned before, my editor is currently broken, I'm actually recording this video in OBS using different layers to hide everything. So you're going to need to pardon, if you hear a couple of mouse clicks, if you hear anything else that's a little bit weird. It's, again, this is the best system I can think of right now, given the fact that OpenShot has completely failed me. So as we get into this video, though, we are going to be, of course, talking about Catalyst zombies today, which are, I just want to disclaim, one of my personal favorite additions to Call of Duty, something that I really enjoy. However, I don't think that the Reddit agrees with me. I don't think that the community agrees with me on that. As you can see by this poll here, the vast majority of people, 71 out of 146, so just under 50% to be exact, think Catalyst should be removed entirely, with another 56%, or with another 56 people saying that they need to be nerfed if they're going to stay in the game. And of course, it's important to acknowledge that, like, the nerf or change category still represents people who are ultimately dissatisfied with the Catalyst zombies themselves. However, I don't know that dissatisfaction is so incredibly grounded. Because, if you look at it from the top, you've got their importance, like, they are crucial to Easter egg steps on 3 of the 4 Chaos maps. The Danu step on 9, the Ritual Circles on Voyage, charging up the plugs and then starting the lockdowns, that step. And of course, the Sundial on Ancient Evil relies on electric zombies, and I'll be honest, I just don't think those would feel the same if you had to sit there like you do in the final step, or one of the later steps of the 9 Easter egg, and you had to, spam kilowatt, spam firebomb, etc. until you managed to get it to proc on a zombie on top of one of those locations. But having the actual elemental zombies, especially when their rates are adjusted to match the Easter egg steps, I think feels like a really sort of natural addition. But of course, now that their importance to just the basic map progression has been addressed for the first time, I wanted to move into sort of some more nitty-gritty things. beginning with, a little bit more of a nerdy look, that Zombies as a game mode was rather clearly, like, Chaos was an attempt to reinvent Black Ops 4 Zombies, I think. I'm just going to go ahead and take away this poll now. I'm sure you guys have all had plenty of time to look at it. But it was really an attempt to reinvent the game, if you look at it, sort of from the top down. And I was originally going to include some clips. A lot of people don't like the new perk system. A lot of the YouTubers, that is. A couple of the YouTubers even mentioned Catalyst specifically. Again, I was going to include clips, but due to the restrictions of OBS and having to, manually hide and unhide everything that I want or don't want to be on the screen, I figured it would be best to try not to clutter it with things like that, both for my ability to navigate and for you guys as watchers, because there is a bit of lag for graphics disappearing. But of course, catalysts are incredible. I think they change, like they actually dig to the root and they change the core gameplay of every map that they're on. Right? Fire zombies are the classic tanks. They have a lot more health and they deal a lot of damage too, as most tanks do. However, the cost is their range. They don't have, they need to be like right there to actually deal that damage, or even you need to run into them to manage to take that damage. Then with Poison coming in sort of second, Poison is the high-risk catalyst. If you look at the 9 step where you have to purge Danu, all you get are Poison zombies and normal zombies, right? And 9 times out of 10, unless you have monkeys, the Poison zombies are actually the deadly ones, because there's another way or another person CCing taking care of the normal zombies. But the Poison zombies, they get in there with just that 5 damage per tick, and they stop your regen. They completely nix it. So that you're never actually on full health during that step. You can never actually play comfortably with your 4 hits, right? And that's, an incredibly powerful, but I think not unbalanced ability, because again, it is only 5 damage they're doing to you at the time of stopping your regen. It's not like, it's not the, fatal damage you see from the Ion Voyage of Despair. Of course, moving on to the third one, shock zombies are, I think, maybe even the best balanced of all, or the most intuitively balanced, because before they attack, you'll see them, actually, let's back up a little bit, my apologies. If you look at their attack, right, they blind you. That's all they do. They release a cone of light. If you're inside it, you get blinded. That's the gimmick, right? Now, that sounds awful. However, they do have a little bit less health than the other Catalyst zombies. Their health scaling does feel a little bit lower than the other ones. And that means that, it's easier to kill, it's easier to stop the flashbang, because I know that while I am an Auditory Zombies player, I think it's safe to assume that most people don't play zombies based on the audio. And of course, one of the big reasons that I do play zombies based off of the audio is because, like, you see the headset on my head right now. It's a Sennheiser headset, which I also use for gaming in addition to recording. So, I'm not gonna lie, investing in a good headset is huge for the ability to hear zombies like 2-3 rooms over without issue. Of course, that's a conversation for another time. But the shock zombies are balanced by the fact that when they start their attack, they stop moving. Okay, when they start their attack, they're completely separated from the train, they're completely exposed. And, going just one step farther, you get the fact that they will, like their hands will kind of arc around their head, like they'll shrivel up a little bit, and they'll sort of charge up, like if any of you have played Fallout 4, or the Fallout franchise, really, Assaultrons, before they do that, absolutely destructive energy attack where they unleash a laser beam from their head, they pause for a moment and their head starts like glowing this bright red, like their eye almost starts glowing this incredibly bright, vibrant red that stands out against all backgrounds. And really, the Catalyst zombies, that yellow sort of shock helm they get, stands out against just about everything in zombies too. So like their telegraphing is very clear, very easy to understand. And beyond that, they can't actually track you with their attack. You need to walk into it from the time it started to the time it's ended in order to get flashed. Even though, the hitboxes are like, it's kind of the opposite of lingering, if I'm being totally honest. The hitbox actually disappears a little bit before the electricity fades away. I think it's tied to when the zombie stops shooting, not when the electricity actually dissipates. So it's a fairly narrow window, maybe a second and a half tops, that you actually get blinded, meaning that, they are, I feel at least, a very balanced enemy for the potential harm they or havoc they wreak. Now, ice zombies. I'm not gonna lie to you. In my personal opinion, these could be removed. In my opinion, all these are in the game to hog your equipment, to hog your specialist charge, to hog basically everything. Because what do? Well, they're kind of the Shaw of zombies, right? They're the mad scientists. We don't really know how they do what they do when they're just kind of shulking around in the back of the train, right? But they're touching other zombies. They're spreading a sort of contagion around that is turning the zombies. It's healing their health. It's giving them more health. It's giving them more damage. Basically, it's overall just an outright buff to the zombies, which is incredibly, incredibly scary, especially if you let one run through your entire train. Your train will become a bullet sponge, right? And that's horrifying. I personally don't like it. Again, I personally would like to see it changed. However, I think from a gameplay perspective, it's actually perfectly fine. I think it may even be balanced. Um, and of course, the main balancing feature is just its incredibly low health. Um, and a couple of good headshots will put it out. Now, headshots, you may say, are hard to hit. However, you need to keep in mind that while this guy is skulking behind the train, he actually has his head at the zombie's chest level by default. Like, he's not looking up, he's not, standing tall. It's actually, if you're missing headshots on zombies, chances are you're hitting headshots on him, right? And because, the zombies' bodies have a much bigger hitbox, I think it's almost natural to just sort of go there and not go for the sort of higher risk, high reward headshot. That being said, even if you don't manage to kill him with the first shot, with the second shot, he has a huge chance to stagger. He has a huge chance. I think there's even a chance for him to just trip over his own feet and stop moving for a little. Um, to really just accentuate that the devs knew that this was a strong addition to the game, that this was something that like players were going to be concerned about. And that stagger stops the effect completely. They don't turn zombies while they're staggered. They don't move while they're staggered, obviously. Like, there's no charge up, obviously, there's no delay, and if you're training right, you can even separate them out from the train, because keep in mind, they are naturally towards the back of the train. You can actually separate them out by staggering them, and then finish them off with a blow from, a heavy weapon, like a MOG, like a sniper rifle, like a wonder weapon. Whatever it is, Hellion even, you have a really solid chance of being able to just sort of tear through them in that backline scenario, because again, as soon as they stagger, they've naturally exposed themselves. Their own strength in going to the back has now become their weakness, and they're a free shot for you. Um, and of course, I'm sorry, one final point that I almost forgot to miss. I was about to move on, and something in my head was like, no, there's something left here. Is that the ice zombies, for how scary they are so, so bright. I mean, look at the ghost in this Dead of the Night gameplay, right? Look at the Wraith Fire effect. The third thing that's that bright in the Chaos maps right now is the ice zombie. There are only three. And I think that's a powerful statement, too, to say, like, Treyarch understood that these things were damaged, and Treyarch really, really wanted to make sure that you could see them against the otherwise rather dull color palettes of the maps. That's not to say they aren't atmospheric. Again, they're just not as vibrant, maybe, as, like, when you load up town and you get the bright red of the lava reflecting off of everything, right? Or, when you had perk machines that, like, shone out through the darkness, again, back in Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2. So, like, overall, I would posit that they're actually fairly balanced, especially when you look at them not as zombies, not as like, okay, well, they made a couple of zombies stronger randomly, ha ha ha, funny developer wants to screw players. But instead, if you look at them as, like, they were Treyarch's attempt, really and truly, to impact target prioritization, right? They were Treyarch saying, okay, the people who train in this game, right? The people who run high rounds all they've been doing for years is running in circles without making a mistake. How can we change that? How can we make it more entertaining, more engaging, so that people actually want to try to get high rounds, not for the grind or for the clout, but because like, it's at least slightly more entertaining. And of course, I think their answer was catalysts. I genuinely believe that because all four of those abilities are things that aren't as scary as like the Panzer Mech clawing you in, the Blightfather grappling you in, right? The Werewolf jumping on you for 125 from across the map, the Crimson staggering you. Like whatever it is, right? None of the abilities I just listed are as scary as those things. But they are enough to make you reconsider target prioritization. They are enough to make you say, okay, I've got a bunch of normal zombies here, and they're all fine and dandy. I can let them sit. But, like, these glowing ones, that one will cause me a problem. I need to shoot that one first. And that change in target prioritization is kind of like, if you look at roguelike games, if you look at, like, The Binding of Isaac, there are champion enemies that are differently colored, that are maybe bright pink, that are bright purple, etc., that you want to prioritize because they do more damage, they have a special effect. You know, and even like charged creepers in Minecraft, when you get a creeper that literally makes like an atom blast hole in the ground, it can probably kill you through most enchanted diamond armor. The trade-off is it's basically a beacon. I mean, like, it gets hit by lightning and suddenly it's got this bright white shell around it that just kind of shouts from nowhere, hey, there's a charged creeper over here, be careful. Right? And that same coloration tactic is used in zombies to kind of say, like even as, like, sort of help from the devs, maybe, to say that, you know, there's a stronger zombie over here, be careful, like, be aware there's something that might mess you up right now. But of course, then you take care of it and it's not an issue. Like, if you just shoot the creeper from a range, right? If you just take your time on the champions in Isaac, they won't be a problem because they won't hit you. Because again, they need to, like, actually, like, they need to have time to proc their abilities to be able to do significant damage, and so do the catalysts. They don't just inherently have a damage buff. And, you know, beyond that, Treyarch even, like, there's a lot of nuance around Catalyst, right? This may be part of the reason I love them so much personally, and again, the part of the reason that I want you to sort of see this alternate perspective on them now. There are Pack-a-Punch synergies with Catalyst that are absolutely incredible, and we're going to pull up the Reddit again, because I asked them another question. My exact question was, were double Pack-a-Punch abilities actually nerfed in Black Ops 4 Zombies? Alright, the responses to which were, of course, 92 out of 160 said they were nerfed, so well over 50%, actually bordering 60-65%, said that they were outright nerfed, with another 47 out of 160, so, you know, a little bit over 25%, noting that this was a trap and that they weren't about to be debated, because I always like leaving a third option, because I know there are some people who will sit there all day arguing with themselves to pick between 1 and 2. So now I want to take the time to note, number one, congratulations to the 47 people who weren't being debated. You're absolutely correct, this was a trap. And number two, that I am going to argue, and I'm willing to stand by this, that the double Pack-a-Punch abilities in Black Ops 4 are actually stronger than the ones in Black Ops 3. Now, again, I have a small issue where I can't display too many clips because of the fact that I'm running on OBS. I did originally, however, have clips up for you that that included, like, each of the Catalyst zombies being hit by a Pack-a-Punch alternate ammo type, because the Pack-a-Punch ammo types actually synergize with the zombies in this game. In Black Ops 3, all you had to do was blast furnace trains and you could get to round 255, which was, for those who don't know, the maximum round. Actually, I think it was 254 and it would error out on 255. Either that or it was 255 error on 256. But, either way, as you double Pack-a-Punch your weapons, as you naturally progress, right, you can get 4 abilities. You can get Brain Rot. Yeah, it's called Brain Rot. You can get Kilowatt. You can get Firebomb, and you can get Cryo Freeze. Right? Now, each one of these actually corresponds to a catalyst, so we're going to start with the easy one here. We're going to start with the Ice Zombies. If you hit an Ice Zombie with Kilowatt, upon dying, it won't just die. It will actually explode. It'll become the catalyst for an explosive nova that one-shots zombies infinitely. And it two-shots heavies, three-shots mini-bosses infinitely, in case you were wondering. Now, this effect, it allows you to do incredible things. It allows you to, like, if you're running, let's say, an SDM, and you can actually one-shot the catalyst with a headshot, you can take out an entire train with a single bullet. And the thing is, you don't need the alternate ammo type to proc for that. It just needs to be on your gun. And the same thing happens when you hit an electric zombie with firebomb, when you hit a fire zombie with brain rot, and then when you hit a poison zombie with cryo freeze. Right? The same thing happens in all of those situations. Leading to, you know, as long as you're kitted properly, even if you're running Mule Kick, this actually gives some more value to Mule Kick. If you have 3 different alternate ammo types, and you've got a 75% chance on any catalyst spawn, to get a catalyst that will basically kill your entire train for you in a couple of shots. And again, the most this ever actually takes, at least on normal difficulty, is like half a clip from an SMG to kill a catalyst. Like 1 shot from a MOG, 1 shot from an SG-12, 1 shot from most of the sniper rifles, right? Like, there are a considerable host of weapons that, when double packed, actually one-shot, that make this ability just so incredibly interesting. And they also serve as, like, literally a double effect on double-packed weapons, right? In addition to getting the double tap naturally for upgrading them, in addition to, like, having firebomb on your gun and being able to every once in a while just take down a train with firebomb, you also get the ability to drop catalysts with the weapon, who will then kill your entire train for you, right? So while, like, firebomb may have a longer cooldown than Blast Furnace did in Black Ops 3, it has this extra ability of synergizing with the catalyst, the new zombies, to sort of exploit their weaknesses, like their built-in weaknesses, and ultimately to just shred through trains, to just destroy them alive, which is something that you don't see in Black Ops 3. So, you know, just to sort of seal off the argument, because of Catalyst, Black Ops 4 zombies' double pack-a-punch abilities are likely more powerful than their Black Ops 3 equivalents. And of course, I firmly believe, I implore you even, to go give Black Ops 4 Zombies another try and not to look at catalysts as the pesky things that come in and mess with other zombies, but instead to look at them as like an addition to the gameplay, as something that really sort of turns up the heat and makes you focus more, makes you actually stay engaged with the game, and makes you change your target priority a little bit. Because I'm going to be honest, after playing as much Black Ops 4 as I have recently, going back to Black Ops 3, going back to Shadows of Evil, Zetsubo no Shima, 2 of my all-time favorite maps, right? Genuinely, they've lost a little bit of their shine. It's not that they aren't still incredible maps, it's not that they aren't still, you know, some of my favorite maps, but, like, they're a little bit less, they're missing some polish now, in my mind. Because the zombies, like, once you get all your perks, once you get the Apothecon, once you get Blast Furnace, you just don't have to care about the zombies anymore. You just run around in circles. Whereas Black Ops 4, as a game, actually forces the player to sit there and pay attention to the game for the entire game. Leading me to believe and leading me to believe, once again, like, for the final time, that catalysts are an amazing gameplay decision from the developer side to generate, like, sort of community interest and to generate continued attention in the game. And I implore you, just on a personal note, based on my personal opinion, not based on the opinion of the community, obviously, not based on anything else, not based on the actual statistics of the zombies, but I implore you, just from a personal spot, to go try them again, because I do genuinely think that they're an incredible tool to the game, an incredible addition, and that their mechanical gameplay changes are not as bad as everybody else makes them out to be. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back next week with another video.